Right now, everybody's working a little harder.
Technology is really feeling like a godsend.
I have also seen a tremendous amount of goodwill.
That it keeps you from being isolated.
This will pass at some point.
More in Common is checking in.
Hi, Dad!
With a woman from Philadelphia who doesn't let social distancing keep her from spreading the love.
We miss you.
A gaming grandma who's been training for this very moment.
They tell me that they feel like it's a safe place to come to, so they just like to be there.
And possibly the coolest landlord in the world.
I don't want my tenants to feel stress about having to pay me.
All that and more coming up on the check-in. I'm Michael Koenigs, and this is More in Common. And typically, we'd be on the road, flying around, telling stories about people coming together. But like so many of you, I'm hunkered down now. This is my living room. I've got no teleprompter, just this computer. But we still believe it's important to tell stories of those helping out their neighbors. And even though social distancing requires us to be apart, we can find ways to connect online. And this series is going to be about those people who are doing what they can to support their communities. To start it off, we're meeting with the truck drivers who are delivering necessary supplies to hospitals and supermarkets across the country. They deserve our thanks.
Good morning, everybody. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I am over here in New Jersey, and how grateful they were when I showed up and had a truckload full of respirators.
It's the health professionals and the EMTs and linemen and everybody that keeps the infrastructure going in the country kind of rely on us.
America's 3.5 million truckers are now braving the coronavirus outbreak to deliver needed goods to hospitals and supermarkets across the country. They rarely get the recognition they deserve, so we decided to talk to a few drivers putting in extra miles to keep stores stocked for worried customers. You're on the road delivering goods around the country right now? And what does it look like? What is that kind of journey, and how has it changed in the last few days?
Lot less cars on the road, more trucks everywhere.
You know, I still need sleep, so I'm putting in about 14 hours a day. And I'm running about 750 miles a day, 800 at the tops.
And what is it that you were transporting?
What I normally pick up and carry cat litter and paper. Recently, with all of this been going on, it has shifted to stuff like food and essential supplies.
Respirators and bandaging and basically anything medical that they would need in the facilities right now. It was an emergency load. I just did what I normally do, is just drive there and get there as fast as I can.
And how long did you have to drive to deliver that?
It was about 1,800 miles, so about 3 days. But as soon as I got there, they opened up their arms and they were just so excited just to have some medical supplies for them.
They got me to pick up some toilet paper from Alabama and drive it 2,200 miles. We were sent an email from the Federal Motor Carriers Association that HOS has been suspended if you're delivering products, which would be medical and essentials, as in toiletries and foods. But our original DOT regulations was 70 hours a week. They want us to get the loads there a lot faster.
Usually I'll deliver to somewhere like a Target distribution center or a Walmart distribution center or something like that. And those are a lot busier now. There are tons of trucks going in and out now because I think a lot of the focus has shifted to getting those kind of supplies that people need, because everybody goes out and kind of panic buys everything when something like this starts. I'm finding it harder to find food that I can make in the truck. So I'm having to eat at truck stops more right now. You know, 95% of the time we're isolated from everybody. We're in this little cubicle here, but there's this little 5% where we're going in and out of truck stops or rest areas where everybody on the road is touching everything.
And you've seen some community members kind of do what they can to support the truck drivers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even on Facebook, Instagram, they've been messaging me if I need anything. They'll Uber Eats something out. They will bring it to your truck, put it on your step, knock on your door, and your food's right there. Otherwise, we wouldn't have really much of anything out here.
I know a lot of people, at least most of my friends and family, know how important truckers are to the economy. It's like if we stop, everything stops. I think people should just be more mindful of how tough our jobs really are. We're working, sometimes 14 hours a day, and right now everybody's working a little harder. So I think just be nicer to truckers on the road is what I'm trying to say.
Give us our space. That's all we ask.
Always remember that we were here and we will always be here.
I've been doing a lot of swiping on social media these last few days, and here are a few of our most popular videos from our @Localish page. Starting out in San Diego, here's a police officer who goes grocery shopping for a 95-year-old widower, a man who obviously can't go out, is one of the more susceptible populations to coronavirus, and so this police officer did his grocery shopping. This next story comes to us from Australia. A woman, a barista, ends up crossing the street with some warm coffee for those waiting in an unemployment line. She knew it would kind of warm their hearts a little bit as they're going through a real tough time. The world economy has been shaken, and yet this person working at Duke's Cafe in Australia just did what she could to make it a little bit better for these folks. This next story is out in Los Angeles. A woman who we've actually featured before on Localish is passing out hand sanitizers and food and vitamin C to the homeless population there on Los Angeles' Skid Row. They're obviously hit particularly hard right now, and she's practicing social distancing, both has a mask and is passing it through the passenger window, but doing what she can to support these folks who need it most right now. And finally, a moment we can all kind of laugh about. In San Antonio, Texas, two shoppers dressing in full-body dinosaur costumes, strolling through the store, putting smiles on fellow shoppers' faces. A lot of people obviously nervous and stocking up their food pantries, but these two do it in style. Those are just a few moments from around the globe that I liked. Hope you do as well. So let's check in with Marianne Liberto, who's been able to find an incredible way to connect with her dad despite social distancing.
Hi, Dad. How you doing, hon? We miss you. My dad, he's a special person. He's a special soul. He was a World War II hero, and he's such a compassionate, religious, caring man, always trying to help other people. How you feeling? Good? He's basically in quarantine here, and I came up with the idea of buying some stickers and putting them on the window, just for him to remember that we still love him and that we still are with him even though we can't go in to see him. Every day I'll come by and put a couple more for you. This one's from me, this one's from Joanne. For this to happen, especially to an older person, it's just so disruptive to their lives. They're very much at risk right now. They have been the ones that all of their lives have held our hands, that have taken us through our lives, and now it's our turn to make sure that we keep them as safe as we possibly can. So when you look at them, you'll think of all of us. I just felt this was the best thing to keep him here at Sunrise. I can't tell you what an amazing staff they have here. I knew that he would be loved, that he would be well taken care of. Since my mom passed away, we have seen him almost every single day, so this is kind of heartbreaking for us, as I'm sure it is for all of the residents. But this will pass at some point. We don't know how long. Just keep faith.
Thank God for everything, for all the blessings that we had.
Love you.
Love you too.
For our next story, the widespread closure of businesses across the country has led a lot of people to be worried about how they're going to pay for next month's rent, unless they have a landlord like Nathan Nichols.
My name's Nathan Nichols. I live in Portland, Maine, and I'm a landlord. Hourly workers and service workers, they're not getting paid on a salary. They can't work from home. I knew that they were going to suffer financially in ways that they probably could never recover. I looked at my finances, I looked at what power I had to act, and I decided almost immediately to contact them and let them know that they would not have to pay April's rent. I don't feel like I really made a sacrifice here because this is just coming out of what was already designated for the building. But I did know that it was going to make a huge difference for my tenants. I see the relationship between me and my tenants as being really symbiotic. They depend on me for a place to live, for sure, but I also depend on them for the money that I use to pay for the property taxes and for the mortgage. If I don't have tenants, I can't pay for my building. Every month that they pay their rent, they're giving something to me. And I felt like it was the least I could do to give them back a little bit when I was able. I decided to post about this because I thought that other people could look and see what they could do, particularly other landlords. I was pretty surprised when my post went viral. I had no idea. Since my post went viral, I've heard from people all over the country, more and more other landlords doing what they can. But even more than that, I've heard about landlords who are pinched because they are living on the income, they owe the mortgage. I just found out that lenders are giving some relief on a case-by-case basis. So I recommend to any landlord who is in that situation to contact your lender and see if they can help you out so that you can pass it along to your tenants. The other thing that I've really seen from the posts is how close to the edge so many people are. Whether it's a tenant or a landlord, so many people are depending on that income every week. And it's kind of scary that in the wealthiest country in the world, so many people are living that close to the edge. I have also seen a tremendous amount of goodwill. Everybody wants to help. So that's our power. We have a lot of power. When we come together, we can make things happen.
Coming up.
I thought we need to be doing everything as we can to prevent this from spreading. Wash your hands sounded like a good message. When somebody reads the shirt, they get it.
And later,
You've got probably the best setup during this shelter-in-place stuff as anybody.
Right. I'm just doing what I always did before.
hand washing has never been more in vogue. And this t-shirt company in Chicago is getting that message out and helping others with some clever designs.
Wash your hands sounded like a good message. It followed our obvious brand. All of the proceeds that we raise on the sale of Wash Your Hands going to displaced hourly employees that work at the ballparks and stadiums in the city of Chicago. Obvious Shirts is an apparel company that states the obvious things that need to be said in sports in hopes of getting reactions out of people. We've even expanded outside of sports altogether. The Wash Your Hands shirt came to me pretty organically when all this stuff was kind of going around in the news and media, and I thought we need to be doing everything as we can to prevent this from spreading. And rule number one is wash your hands. When somebody reads the shirt, they get it, they react to it, and hopefully it stirs up conversation. We're a Chicago company, and Chicago's home for us, and Chicago means the world to us, but we're not exclusively limiting it to Wrigley Field. We're a lot more than just a t-shirt company. We are trying to give back, and we're trying to be an impact on the city, the state, and hopefully the country.
Still to come, we're checking in with...
When so many people now are hunkered down at home, what's your advice in terms of trying new things and exploring new worlds?
I've got several new games that I need to be trying during this time for sure. I'm just doing what I always did before.
And later,
I'm worried for my family. I'm worried about the people that work for us. I'm worried, but I'm also really hopeful.
we're back on More in Common Check-In. I'm Michael Koenigs, and for many of us, this period means more time stuck at home. But for 83-year-old grandmother Shirley Curry, she doesn't mind, because she's known around the world as the Grandma Gamer.
You've got probably the best setup during this shelter-in-place stuff as anybody.
Right. I'm just doing what I always did before.
When so many people now are hunkered down at home, What's your advice in terms of trying new things and exploring new worlds?
Oh, sure. That's what they should be doing. And I hear from so many kids that's out of school, like they're really happy for all of this because they get to game all the time. I've got several new games that I need to be trying during this time for sure. Population Zero and Red Dead Redemption.
You have over 800,000 followers.
Yes.
From around the world who watch you play video games.
Yeah. So my advice to a gamer is just to get into the game, enjoy the beautiful world that it is, and just do their own thing in the game. It's much more fun.
So people who might be feeling isolated right now, not able to connect with their friends, potentially could make friends while gaming.
Oh, yes. When you have a regular person that you really talk with a lot on your comment sections or something, you do get to become friends with them, and that's a lot of fun because you get outside of your own world and outside of your own comfort zone, and you learn about other people in other countries and how they live and what they think, and it's a lot of fun.
And for you, it's more about the connections.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It keeps you from being isolated. Yeah, I live alone, and I don't do much else except read and quilt sometime.
There's a lot of anxiety that you hear, and people come to you for that sense of warmth and happiness.
I guess they tell me that they feel like it's a safe place to come to, and they feel like it's such a nice community that I have.
Maybe seeing someone like you who's calm and still loving the world, it gives them a sense of hope and a sense everything's going to be all right.
Right. And I'm positive.
But you always lift up my spirits, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's nice.
It's been such a treat to talk to you again. I hope you stay safe and healthy, and thinking of you, and great to check in with you.
Thank you. I hope I get to talk to you again someday.
Soon, Shirley.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Washing my hands again. It's never been more important. And this distillery in Pennsylvania has figured out a way to convert their facilities to make hand sanitizer.
Currently, our new hot product is our hand sanitizer. We typically make vodka, gin, we make rum, whiskey, and some specialty spirits.
Provide for a community came as a result of the whole coronavirus situation.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
We offer it free of charge for people to come in with their own bottles. We'll fill it up for them. They can use it as needed, give it out to their friends and family. This was something that came as a result of just the current circumstances. Our traditional model as a business is obviously shut down, where we can't do on-premise consumption. We've got the capability and the ability to produce ethyl alcohol at high percentages, which is required to make sanitizer, and do the right thing and help out the community.
We have all the resources that we needed to do it, so it really wasn't too much of a stretch for us to just kind of redirect where we were putting things to make our house-made sanitizer.
So this is about 68% alcohol. As you can see, it's flammable to show that it's effective.
So this here is our still. It's about 2,250 liters. It's one of the largest stills, if not the largest, in Pennsylvania. Instead of portioning out neutral ethanol to become vodka or to become gin, we just set it aside and treat it a little differently, added some different ingredients to it to make it the hand sanitizer.
We've got our own lab where we can run analysis that we are producing something that is going to be sanitary.
Our process takes about 11 to 12 hours to collect a final volume of about 425 to 450 liters at 95% alcohol. We got our formula for making the hand sanitizer from the World Health Organization's website. This ethanol has already been diluted down to about 72% alcohol. We use a vegetable-based glycerin. The purpose of this is to increase the viscosity so you can spread it around your hands better. And then we'll finish that off with some hydrogen peroxide, which helps with the sanitation purposes.
We basically have a tank filled up back there, and as folks come in, preferably with their own containers, we fill it up free of charge. And right now we're doing it from 12 to 1 p.m. and then from 5 to 6 p.m. And we are open until 7 o'clock Monday through Friday. And we're just trying to do what we can to soften the blow, if you will, to the business, but also the community.
5 liters of hand sanitizer for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The community response has been significant. We even had a police department give us a call earlier today asking for sanitizer, which we gave to them free of charge so they can use with the force as they're out and about.
People really seem to appreciate what we're doing.
More inspiring stories are coming up.
Technology is really feeling like a godsend. It's a way for us to connect with each other when we can't be together.
The coronavirus shutdown has caused bars and nightclubs across the country to close their doors indefinitely, and many people, like myself, are doing a little more drinking indoors. But this nightclub from Queens, New York, is bringing that party online to people's homes around the world.
My name's Justin Carter, and I'm one of the resident DJs and founders of Nowadays. You know, just as all the other bars, restaurants, and clubs in New York are closed, that's the case for Nowadays. On the first day that we were closed, we were able to broadcast, DJ sets, party DJ sets. And every day since then, that's what we've done and are planning on streaming until we're open again. There are a lot of people who are stuck at home right now. Technology is really feeling like a godsend. It's a way for us to connect with each other when we can't be together. We saw people on their Instagram stories, or people that were just posting videos in their house of themselves dancing with like the screen on in the background. And it was really nice to just log on and see, our general manager there doing the lights, and to see Masha DJing in the DJ booth. There's also a chat room there, so there are people that are able to go on to the chat room and communicate with the DJs and with each other. Okay, we're actually sharing something together, and that's really nice to see that. Who knows how long we're going to be asked to stay in our homes and being isolated from each other. And I'm worried about the people that work for us who are certainly going to have a hard time making ends meet right now. We have about 50 people that work for us as security guards and resident DJs and bartenders and barbacks. So we started a fund for them, which is just a Venmo account where people have very nicely been just sending money for our staff. I'm worried about whether or not Nowadays is going to be able to weather this, and whether when this is all over, Nowadays will exist anymore. I'm worried for myself and my family. I'm hopeful that, through support and through some hard work on our side, that we can figure out a way for Nowadays to continue to exist. It's a roller coaster. I'm worried, but I'm also really hopeful.
And to wrap it up, I figure I'd check in on my own parents. Let's see if Mom's around. Hey, Mother Bear. We're checking in. Hello, look at you. You look lovely, Ma.
Thank you, honey. How are you doing?
I just wanted to let you know I was thinking of you and love you. And I know it's a crazy time out there in Colorado, and I know you're particularly worried.